John Champion in the commentary box.
If England are to massage their hopes of a playoff place, this, Kevin Keegan's fourth match in charge, is a game they really need to win. He takes his total of new caps used so far to 8. Jonathan Woodgate began the season in the Leeds youth team and will finish it in the national team. He is, says Keegan, an outstanding talent. The England lineup has a new shape as well as new personnel. Michael Gray makes his full debut. For Robbie Fowler, it's a first competitive start for his country. And for Teddy Sheringham, the chance to recreate the spirit of Euro '96 with Alan Shearer. Bulgaria's best days are some distance in the past. Only Hristo Stoichkov remains from the team that reached a World Cup semi-final in America. Gone is the bewigged goalkeeper Mikhailov, together with Kostadinov and co. In their places, largely home-based players, thin on experience, and all apparently subservient to Stoichkov. Now 33, he may have mellowed, but he describes himself as genial yet mad. Mario van der Ende controlled England's World Cup qualifier in Rome and is happily the ideal choice as an employee of the Dutch arbitration service. Bulgaria in the red and green, playing from the right. 20 years ago this week, England won a European Championship qualifier in Sofia, 3-0. Kevin Keegan scored the second goal, assisted by the man who can now tell us precisely what to expect, Trevor Brooking.
Well, I think it's a game England feel that they must win. I mean, depends what the options are between now and September, but I think having drawn against Sweden, England must win. The wing-backs have got to get forward to give a width and then some service to the likes of Shearer, Fowler and Sheringham. And certainly the pitch is undulating, and it's the penalty areas that are worse more than anything, John.
Players were rather alarmed yesterday to train on the pitch and find shards of glass. Here's Sheringham, couldn't quite stretch far enough, and it's behind for a goal kick. It's fortunate that this is an evening kick-off, because it's been a hot, humid, steamy day in Sofia, with temperatures in the high 80s. Shearer. Goes to Milen Tetkov, who's very much the local favourite. He's very much fouled by Robbie Fowler, who's going inside 3 minutes into the referee's notebook.
Shades of the weekend, unfortunately, isn't it? Early bookings. Robbie Fowler, first starts, and keen, enthusiastic, just trying to close down Tetkov as he started to make a run, did clip his heels, and if you do tackle from behind like that in front of the referee, it is going to be an automatic yellow card.
Stoichkov fancied the idea of that batty challenge. There was a bit of an aftermath to it between the two as well. And the free kick's been given for the foul on Fowler. And Mr. van der Ende quickly turned and had a little word of admonishment with the two number 8s, Batty and Stoichkov.
Might have one or two skirmishes as the evening goes on. Stoichkov actually is in almost direct confrontation with young Woodgate. Quite a test for him, but he settled down very well.
England with 5 players and a group on the edge of the penalty area, jostling for position. Taken by Redknapp, and it's in! But the referee is unhappy with the taking of the free kick. Well, it was a bullet of a shot from Jamie Redknapp. But as he struck the ball, the whistle blew, and he'll have to try again. This time, it's the cross towards Fowler. Just kept within bounds. And now Stoilov. It was an escape for Bulgaria. The referee didn't immediately make it clear exactly what he'd seen that he was unhappy with, but there was so much jostling going on in that wall. And I suppose we shouldn't be too surprised that he wanted the kick retaken. Now Sol Campbell. Waiting for Michael Gray to find some space ahead of him.
But if you've got 3 central defenders, they can take it in turns and bring the ball out like that.
Cross lofted in by Gray. And here's Shearer. And he has found the net, and this time it will count. Alan Shearer scores his first goal for England in open play for 6 days short of a year. His 24th international goal. Just what England required. An early goal.
Well, Sol Campbell made it by the run forward. They won a quick throw in. Bulgaria went to sleep, and Michael Gray was able then to get onto this. A high loopy cross. They tried to hook it away, but it went actually straight to Shearer. One control on the swivel into the corner.
It scored with a couple of penalties and with that free kick in Stockholm. But away from set pieces, the drought had lasted for 901 minutes in an England shirt. Given for the indiscretion by Sheringham. It's Stoichkov to take. Oh, and the header has found the net. England caught out, and Georgi Markov has equalised for Bulgaria. Celebrations right around this Army Stadium, because even the thought of scoring against this English side was thought by some of the locals to be too much to hope for. But their dearest wish has now come true, and it's 1-1.
Well, again, there was no problem with the numbers back, but it was a great free kick, superbly struck by Stoichkov. There it is, towards the far post. Teddy Sheringham with his man Markov. Wasn't sure perhaps where the seaman was going to come out. I think the pace of the cross meant he couldn't do that.
And Stoichkov has really got the bit between his teeth. Awkward for Seaman. And not the best of clearances either. Foul given against Southgate, who's going to go into the referee's book.
Here you can see, just toes it between his legs, and then he's got to block him, otherwise he's going to be through.
Well, this is extraordinary in itself, in that Stoichkov is not going to take this set piece. Left for Petkov. There's Stoichkov. Stoichkov trying a second and then a third time before the intervention of Woodgate. Shot by Markov. Obviously believes that anything's possible, having headed in that Stoichkov free kick to level the scores. Kirillov. Petkov. Left by Yovov for Iliev. Bulgaria noticeably growing in confidence. Keegan has urged some of his substitutes to go and warm up. He's a concerned figure at this stage. Shearer. Redknapp. Sheringham's made a good run on the far side. Redknapp's picked him out as well. It's Teddy Sheringham. That was a good tackle by the sweeper Zagorčić.
Well, that was as good a move that England have had, and as you say, it was a terrific interception by Zagorčić.
Neville clutches his face. England have a free kick, one of many given by the Dutch official. Once more, Woodgate has gone forward. Too long for Shearer. Campbell. Gray sliding into the tackle with Iliev and holding him up but not stopping him. And Campbell and Woodgate are still upfield for England, which leaves them decidedly short. And this is Stoichkov, and Southgate struggling to stay with him, and Yovov has missed an open goal. A major escape for England. Stoichkov's ball was ideal across the 6-yard box, and Hristo Yovov looked a certain scorer.
Well, what a let-off for England. That is as good a ball as you could hope for.
Neville. Redknapp striding forward and setting himself. And striking it well, but always that little bit too high. Yet to convince for England, Jamie Redknapp. He reckons himself that he's probably lost 2 years of his international career to injuries. Yovov. Petrov has continued his gallop. Always played the wrong side of him.
That was a good opportunity. Sol Campbell and I think it was David Batty stood together, and actually Sol Campbell put his hand up for offside, but Gareth Southgate and Jonathan Woodgate this side were playing them 10 yards onside. So, you know, there's still a bit of rustiness, shall we say, in that new formation at the back, which hasn't played together. I mean, Gareth Southgate, Sol Campbell had, but Jonathan Woodgate hasn't.
And in general, your thoughts on the first half, Trevor?
I think now the scoreline's about right. I mean, I thought England started well, got the goal, and I had visions of 1-0, 2-0 and a comfortable win. But of course, they only kept that lead for 3 minutes. Sloppy goal to allow Bulgaria back into it, and that has given them a lift and got the crowd going. They've got the likes of Stoichkov fancying the occasion, and I think Bulgaria have done better in the latter period of the first half, and you had that great miss then by Yorov. So I think England at the moment then be quite happy to get in the dressing room, try and get back to that opening 15-minute spell.
Well, here's Redknapp. Now Batty. And on to Gray. Sheringham has come short for it. Shearer by the penalty spot. Redknapp. Trying his luck again. He'll strike the ball very cleanly, Jamie Redknapp, as he showed with that free kick that was, sadly from an English perspective at least, disallowed. One of the talking points of a first half that hasn't gone as England would have liked or as they planned. They took the lead through Alan Shearer's first international goal in open play in just short of a year, but Georgi Markov equalised shortly afterwards. Yovov missed the truest of true sitters, giving England a modicum of relief. Stoichkov the central figure. At half-time, they find themselves only all square at 1-1 with Bulgaria here in Sofia. Bulgaria have made a half-time substitution. They've replaced the player who missed the best chance, really, of the first half, Hristo Yovov, with 20-year-old Martin Petrov, who's been dubbed the new Stoichkov. He's just moved from CSKA Sofia to Servette in Switzerland and helped them promptly to win the Swiss League title. So a straight swap. Batty. Campbell. Gray. Kishichev came steaming in, and the loose ball has fallen nicely for Stoichkov. Southgate has to be careful here. It's still Stoichkov. Well, by his standards, on his left foot, a decent opportunity.
Well, they had 3 against 2. Kishichev one possession and then joined the attack. He made the forward run and allowing Stoichkov to come inside on his favoured left foot, and you do expect to see him hit the target at least.
Neville. Redknapp, back to Batty. Now Gray. Fowler comes short for him. Shearer is just beyond the penalty spot, but that matters not, because this is Kishichev. And a chance for Martin Petrov to show his pace, which he's got in abundance, and Woodgate made a wonderful recovery tackle.
Well, his best tackle of the match. Again, he looks a quick player, doesn't he? Mark Petrov just come on, slapping his thigh. Thought he was clear, and he had got clear. And at this stage, he's just setting himself to shoot. And watch the long right leg of Jonathan Woodgate. Looks to be the wrong side. He gets possession. Petrov goes down looking for the penalty, but there was contact with the ball. Wonderful tackle.
Justification of the faith shown by Kevin Keegan in the 19-year-old Woodgate. Stoichkov with the kick. Back from Kishichev. Iliev, blocked by Fowler, who was then pulled back. Zagorčić. Milen Petkov, shoulder to shoulder with Redknapp. There was no foul. Shearer. Redknapp for a second time.
And that's the contrast. If you can get it in those areas, knock it in, get it back, and then he has got good shooting ability.
Ilian Stoyanov amongst the Bulgarian substitutes warming up. And another yellow card. This time Martin Petrov, newly arrived. He's found his way into Mario van der Ende's notebook. That was a foul by Martin Petrov, who's already been booked. And he's going to be sent off here for barging into Sol Campbell. His stay on the pitch has lasted 13.5 minutes. And Martin Petrov, having been sent on as a half-time substitute, is dismissed within a quarter of an hour for a second bookable offence. A silly challenge on Sol Campbell.
Well, it was a nothing challenge, wasn't it? He just jumped at him. I mean, Sol Campbell was always going to win the initial ball, and he just caught him.
I don't think that Martin Petrov can believe his own impetuosity and his own stupidity. Meantime, at the other end, there's a chance for Teddy Sheringham, which is not far wide. Well, England held out for 39 minutes with 10 men against Sweden, and England now have 30 minutes to try and break down the remaining 10 men of Bulgaria.
And the argument is, do you need 3 central defenders, or do you need David Batty protecting them when they are a man short as an attacker? Probably not, and that's the area.
Oh, that's a fierce shot, and Seaman could only parry it, and Stoichkov was nearly in on the rebound. It was really firmly struck. Stilian Petrov. Neville taking on Milan Petkov.
It was a good play, the number 10. There was a shot at the other end, just bounced in front of Seaman, and that goal mouth, it was difficult for him to hold on to, but he retrieved it well.
Redknapp. Fowler just glanced his head. But he wasn't in a position to make more meaningful contact. Throw taken by Gray, on by Campbell, the leap by Sheringham, the overhead by Fowler.
Heavy landing for Robbie Fowler. It's not the best of penalty areas. Try overhead kick, didn't get hold of it.
Neville. Parler noticeably has adopted a position out on that right flank in some space, but it's come left to Gray. Sheringham. 3 in the centre for England. Shearer, Fowler, and of all people, David Batty. And England could have done with Batty as Bulgaria break forward with Kishichev. Boromirov alongside him. Stoichkov waiting. This is Boromirov. Space opening up for him. Appeals for a penalty. No interest at all shown by the Dutch referee.
It was great covering by Philip Neville. So didn't dive in. It looked as if they'd got in Bulgaria. Again, I like the number 2, Kishichev, the right wing-back. He does get forward, and as soon as the opening's there, charges ahead, and Philip Neville tucking round, covering, timed his tackles superbly.
Some space opening up for Sheringham. Bounce didn't really favour him. But he's escaped the attentions of Zagorčić. Not the best of crosses. Batty. Well struck by Batty. The on-looking guest of honour, Johan Cruyff, in the centre of your picture. There by special invitation of Stoichkov. And he would have been privileged to see David Batty score a goal for England. Something he's never done. Now it's fallen for Stilian Petrov, Boromirov, Batchev, Stilian Petrov! Didn't clear David Seaman's crossbar by more than a matter of a couple of inches.
A little toe ender back, it's sitting up nicely to be hit. Hit it well enough, and David Seaman just stretching, but I think he always knew it was probably just going a bit lower, and it would be nasty, wouldn't it?
Southgate. Shearer. Redknapp. The tackle by Zagorčić, very sound. Boromirov. Out to Kishichev, who's been so impressive throughout. Batchev waiting in the middle. Boromirov's arrived as well. Played straight to Sol Campbell. Batty. Sheringham. Now Gray. Shearer has pulled away beyond the penalty spot. Redknapp made that his and then was tripped. And free kick to England. And no one seems to be thinking about a direct pot shot at goal. But the troops have been sent forward inside the penalty area. Crossed in by Gray. Southgate. Now Campbell.
I mean, there was acres of space there, you know. I'm not sure it was an intended free kick, but Gareth Southgate had a huge amount of space. He could have turned, carried it forward himself and scored the goal.
Batty to Neville. England could be excused for feeling a little desperate. Just over 4 minutes of normal time on the watch. Here's Jamie Redknapp with a chance for England. Parler. In early towards Heskey. Neither he nor Shearer could get there. And we're now inside the last minute of the 90. Shearer. Now Batty. England battling for all their worth, but not with any great method. And too late for method, it's just hit and hote. In by Campbell. On by Heskey. The referee is poised with the whistle in his mouth. That's it. There will be no winning points for England in Sofia. Not good enough, not bright enough, not inventive enough. And having failed to win with 10 men, now England have failed to win against 10 men. And whilst qualification for a playoff is still within their grasp, there is no room for any more slip-ups.
Wasn't a great performance. I'll be the first to acknowledge that, and so will the players. Comes at the end of a long season. A lot of changes in the side, but still I think we had every right to expect, and the players expected themselves a better performance than that. But it wasn't to be.
The will to win was there, the passion was there, but again we made the wrong decisions at the wrong times, i.e. passing. And we should be opening teams up a little bit more and creating more chances with the quality of players we have. And that's probably more disappointing than anything. But to say that there's a lack of passion and lack of will to win there, that's not true, and the players will stand up and defend themselves from that. But the players are more disappointed to have conceded a goal straight after we scored, because as everyone knows who's involved in football, is when you go a goal up, you've got to keep it tight for 10 or 15 minutes, and that gives you the basis to go on and play your football. And if we had come in at half-time 1-0 up, then it would have been half the job done, and they would have found it difficult to score in the second half.
Let's be honest, Garth, if we can't go to Poland and win and beat Luxembourg before that, then probably, you know, we've got to think about, are we good enough to be there? And I think we are. And I think we will be there. But like you said, I'm the eternal optimist, and it's for other people to be pessimistic. But if you judge on just solely the last 2 games, I can see why people are like that. But you know, and I know, we're better than that. And we've got other players to come back who'll strengthen us. These players came out here at the end of a long season, and they wanted to play for England. Unfortunately, they didn't play as well as they could.
Optimism as ever, but everyone can have an off day, but 2 in 5 days, you have to start asking a few questions.
Yeah, the 2 bad performances, and I think Kevin Keegan mentioned the long, hard season. I don't think that's an excuse, it's a fact, but there's a wider picture in that. And I think that Kevin Keegan can bring motivational skills to England. He can be inspirational, he can get the country behind the team. What he can't give them is better technical ability. And when you talk about touch, technique, control, pass and move, the Bulgarians had it all. I mean, some of the passing, moving and the breaking was absolutely sensational.
This is Iliev in the first half, and, you know, a great pass to Stoichkov from wide on the left. Now, we look at the picture, he's still got a lot to do, but first touch, good, second touch, better, and the third touch, absolutely magnificent. And it's a great chance for a goal. How he missed that, I'll never know. The second half, again, tackled's good. This is a killer pass from a right back. Watch this for a pass. Unbelievable, outside the right foot. Splits the England defence into shreds, and it's only a magnificent tackle from Woodgate that saves the day. And, I mean, you talk about Woodgate, right? He's going to be a star. He's a great defender. The one thing that probably let him down tonight was his ability to pass the ball, and it's right through the England side. You look at the 3 centre-backs,
they're all right in the ball, they're not great in the ball. That's the difference. At this level, you've got to be great in the ball. And then you can go through the whole of English football and look for the players that are great in the ball. Beckham's missing, right? He's great in the ball. You've got Scholes, terrific technical ability. Redknapp's a good passer. Then we'll look at the English game, you say, who else have you got? All the best players are continentals. You go back to the Gascoigne issue, that's why they played him all the way through the 90s, because he's better in the ball than anybody else. Letizia, you can't play him, he's good in the ball. You've just got a dearth of players that are technically very, very good. Even the Bulgarian centre-backs are good in the ball. They can all play. You know, you have a tackle here, and watch when he wins the ball here, it's just up, outside the right foot, and again outside of the right foot, and they're on the way. And that's the way to play the game. Always good in possession. Whereas you get England, played across to Sol Campbell here, right? He's got time, he's got space, he can pick his man. He's trying to play into Shearer's feet here. As a defender, if it comes in quick to Shearer, the defender's got no chance. If it comes slow, you've got every chance. Look, it's about 55 bobbles, and Shearer's got absolutely no chance there. And as I say, until the technical ability issue, you know, until they improve on that side of the game, then England are always going to struggle. Well, we've been saying this for 20 years. People have said this for 20 years. And I look at players in the Premiership. You mentioned Beckham, Scholes, Fowler's got potential. People say Ferdinand is going to train on. But you're saying we're not good enough. You can't talk about potential. You're just saying English players aren't good enough. Well, aren't they? They're not as good technically as the European counterparts and the South Americans. I mean, you talk with influx of the foreign players in the English game, right, and they've been good for the English game, but still a huge percentage is played in there in the box at either end. And until that situation is addressed, then they're always going to struggle. Well, I hear about academies, and people have been talking about this for 20 years, Alan, and you're saying nothing's happening then, nothing's changing. Well, nothing. There's a dearth of real quality players that are English. It's just as simple as that. I mean, you go back to the 1982 World Cup and you look at the English midfield. Got the best league in the world, people are saying, the best players. The Italian league's the best league in the world. I mean, the 82 World Cup, when you look at the selection of English midfield players, you had Hoddle, Robson, Wilkins, McDermott, Brookin. Well, 5 players that are excellent technically in the ball. So you're saying the new generation, all those years on, haven't got the same... So Beckham, Scholes, Fowler and all these guys aren't as good on the ball? No. So what's going to happen then? I mean, England fans will be very depressed tonight. 2 bad performances, but they can still go to Poland and win. I mean, I'm not turning around saying that England are a pathetic team. England are a decent side, but they're not at the top level. You're giving the optimism now. Also, great interest to England tonight, of course, was the Luxembourg-Poland game. Sue Thurl has the story of that match.
Luxembourg must have feared another of their customary thrashings with the visit of in-form Poland. In fact, even the cameraman couldn't really bear to look. A lingering close-up of Radoslav Michalski meant we almost missed Poland's opener on 22 minutes from Rafał Siedacka, although it looked like a pretty good effort. The Poles then doubled their lead in first half injury time. Luxembourg keeper Philippe Felgin came for the ball, got his defender, and that left Eindhoven striker Artur Wikniarek with the easiest of finishes. There was more quality about Poland's third, though, Tomasz Iwan giving the goalkeeper little chance. Although the Eurovision Song Contest and the European Championships normally mean nil point for Luxembourg, they came back. First, Marc Bursin gave the scoreline a semblance of respectability with a 76th-minute header. Then, 7 minutes later, respectability became improbability when Luxembourg scored again through Jean-Marc Vanek. But despite a late flurry, there was to be no fairy tale for the Grand Duchy.
So this is what it all means. Sweden head the group and look certain to qualify automatically for Euro 2000. England are in third, but a place in the playoffs is still in their own hands. If they beat Luxembourg in their next game and then 4 days later beat Poland, they'll finish above the Poles and second in the table. It's inconceivable England won't beat Luxembourg, surely, at Wembley on September the 4th. Poland-England, crunch time 4 days later. Now, second place in Group 1 and a playoff place has always been the realistic target for Wales, and beating Denmark was crucial to their chances. The big question was what effect Bobby Gould's mid-campaign resignation after the weekend defeat in Italy would have on Welsh hopes. Wales were at home and away, with the game being played at Anfield. Tony Gubber is the commentator.
The goal-scoring skills of Ryan Giggs are competitively